Hello kittens. In this video we are going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about frequency modulation, so a bit of wavefolding and FM, and I'm also going to make a generative track, or try to, and while I'm just meandering and talking, while I meander and make noises, I will just talk a bit of rubbish. So let's go. Let's just start off making some sounds, and I am going to start off with something that I was working on yesterday. I don't know if you have heard of a Eurorack module called Humble Audio Operator. I think that's what it's called. It is a Eurorack module for FM synthesis. But what's different about that one to, let's say, anything like Yamaha DX7 or something like that, is usually you have a few. Actually, why don't I just show you? Let's bring up the operator. So for frequency modulation, the bottom one, that is currently the only one that is on. That's the oscillator you hear. These other three you can choose to blend in. It's not that you play them at the same time next to each other. It's literally that this sine wave gets affected by another sine wave. Oh, this envelope is not really like a bit of a sustain. And then you can stack. Let's do that. Same with that one. And you can have the first one being manipulated with the second one, and then you can have those two manipulated by a third one. You get all these upper harmonics. If you click on these colored buttons here, am I saying the right thing? Oh yes, I'm just blind. Up here you can see the relationship between these. So the first one is like the yellow one, that's your main oscillator that then gets, they're sort of basically stacked on top of each other. This one, the two upper ones will play next to each other. So if we do that one, it will just be, they're just running next to each other rather than affecting one another. So it will just be lots of independent sine waves. So that sounds very different from this. Anyway, so the Humble operator, Humble Audio Operator, I'll bring it up on screen when I edit this video after chatting. It doesn't have these presets, because this is sort of in a lot of standard FM synthesis, that's what you get. You select which relationship you want to have. It's actually got a matrix mixer where you can turn up the volume, how much they're affecting one another, and you can make like super complex sounds. And arguably, I think that's easier to understand than this. I'm trying to build that in Max for Live, and I am still far too new to Max for Live. I am completely defeated, but I'm going to share a few things with you that I've made so far. I have made some quite useless tools. Well, I hope they will become useless, because what I'm aspiring to build is going to be much more interesting. But I'm going to share these with you. So we got the FM sound generator, is it that? Yes. Pretty harsh. So what this is it's an FM noise generator, but it's quite interesting in all its simplicity to generate strange sounds and maybe some percussive things. So it's got just a volume envelope, and then it's got 3 operators that can go quite mad. So for what we're going to do, let's just make a sample pack to start with. We just do something really quick, make a bunch of samples. Let's do just if you think that tool might be interesting to you, I'm going to share it on my Patreon if you like the stuff that I do. So let's and a bit of this is another tool that I've talked about in pretty much every video because I use it all the time to generate random values. So you can map that to any parameter and you can set the percentage range high. So as you can hear now, every time I press this, it sort of generates a new, randomizes that a little bit. I like the first one to be fairly low. That sounds better to my ears. The second one can go a little bit. And do the same with that one. It's generating lots of different sounds. Let's can have a little bit of randomness on that decay, I think. I want to keep them fairly short. Maybe not, never ever quite so. We can probably do 2 pictures. Let's add another one of these random things, and then we can just change the. That will add a bit of easing to that value. So sometimes we can do the same on all of them actually. Okay, I think we can now record this. So let's do audio from resampling, and then we can just record a bunch of stuff that we can use in our generative track that we're going to make. The volume is fairly low, so let's actually turn it up again. That, and then the recording will stop automatically when it gets to that. Okay, I think we got more than we need there. There's two that will, because I changed the volume, they'll be quieter. That's fine. We can sort them out. So then we want to slice this to a new MIDI track. And I think we have half notes. So I think that will be enough. So we get lots of different sounds. And let's go in and then we turn them into a sample pack that you will be able to download if you sign up on my Patreon. Boring. Crop samples. Boom. Okay, so now it's just turning these into individual samples on your hard drive. Good little trick to quickly make a sample pack. Boom, done. And then we do this. Let me see, show in Finder, and then we need to make a little folder for it here. Not in there. We need to go into samples. Where do I keep them? The fellow passenger libraries. What should we call this? New folder. TFP custom FM noise. And then we got, I got them off screen here because I'm running full screen. I'm not going to show you. You have seen a Finder window before. And what I'm quickly going to do, I'm just going to remove all the ASD files. The sort of, so I call it Mac poo. These little files that the Mac creates, because I don't want them. And then I'm going to grab all the WAV files and then we drag them into there. Boom. What happened? What did I do? Did I not drag them? I probably dropped them somewhere else in the hard drive, but they did not copy. Actually, I need to rename them as well. So we do a quick rename all. FM noise. I am not doing well today. There. Okay, they've been renamed. Where did that folder go? Did I not create one? I did, didn't I? TFP random FM noise. Okay. I have no idea what happened there. Okay, now okay, we've got all those samples there now, which we are going to be able to use for something interesting. The next thing we're going to look at is the sampler, which has got a feature in it, which I think is really cool. And it was not until many years later that I just even just tried this feature. I don't think I knew what it was. And maybe maybe that's the case with some of you too. So I'm going to share that with you now. I'm going to find a kick sample, something that sounds quite ordinary. Something, this one's has got a little noise on it. All these kicks that I've generated that don't. Actually, I can just search for in samples. I'm just going to go all vanilla. Let's just find, take one of the 808 kicks that you get with Ableton. That's fine. So if you go, so that's just a regular 808 kick. So if you go into pitch and oscillator, here you can do FM with your samples. So if you turn that on, it's set to sine wave by default. So if you turn that volume up, it's doing a bit what the operator is doing. So you can make these really interesting metallic sounds, and then you can obviously change you can change its frequency, and here you can have an envelope how that comes in. So quite interesting for sound design purposes. And then you don't have to use a sine wave, you can use all sorts of other waveforms. Sine wave tends to... And then while we're here, let's talk about this, which you can use to change the pitch envelope. And you can really good for making percussive sound. And you can have a positive or negative. And then you can use something like, you don't have to use my one, you can draw your own automation, or you can use the LFO that comes with Ableton or something. But I quite like this one that gets triggered by a MIDI note. So as you can see here now, that one is being modulated. Every time I press a key, you get a different pitch envelope, and we can do that with the oscillator as well. See how much. Do that with the frequency. It's just, or is that going to be too much? Okay, that's just out of an 808 kick. Yes, and then we're gonna look. So we got gosh, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so we got that one. Let's just clean up here a bit. We got these samples here, which are the ones that we generated. So should we just rename that FM noise? And then we got the kick thing, and do we want to, yeah, let's keep the original one because we can just use that, I suppose. We don't need to, we can use the samples, we can blend them, we can do something interesting with that. So we have lots of percussive stuff happening. We are going to need something more melodic. So I'm going to, as part of this thing where I'm trying to build this quad operator thing, I'm just doing a bunch of tutorials, and I got this, do this FM tutorial. This one is super buggy. I'll give it away in its current state anyway if you want it, because it's much less advanced than the operator that comes with Ableton, but and it's got bugs in it at the moment because it's only a 2-operator synth, but it just sounds different. And now it's not even FMing. So I probably broke it last night. Let's forget about that one. Okay, we don't want to have any automation here. Delete automation. Let's turn that one off. Okay, so now we're going to make a generative track. We can use the built-in operator. Oh, yes, there's one more thing I'm going to do sound design-wise, but no, we'll get to that later. So with generative music, is that cheating? Maybe, maybe not. Think about it in this way. When automated industries came into the world, and you had what are they called, Luddites? Is that the word? People who wanted to stop all the machines because they thought that they were going to just take over from humans and there wouldn't be any jobs left. But think about it in this way. It happened, And there are loads of jobs around. I think the difference is that there are loads of jobs around that were just not, that didn't exist back then. So when humans are not going to stop doing stuff, I don't think humans will ever sit back and just chill out. It's more like if you can automate something, it allows you to pay your attention to something else, and perhaps things that you were not able to pay your attention to before because you had to focus on whatever it is that you're automating. And I think actually that goes with robots and stuff as well. Will they replace humans? They will probably replace humans where humans don't necessarily want to be anyway. So humans can actually spend time and effort on doing stuff which is the next level up that machines can't do. So I think there's going to be loads of new jobs. And I think it's the same with music. And just a caveat that I'm not saying that it's not worthwhile composing yourself. I think it totally is. It just gives a different feel. And I think it's also quite a different skill required to do generative music. This is going to be very basic, and I don't think this is going to win any awards. But let's start off with some sequencing. I'm going to use the, what am I doing? Not that. Let's create, I got a new MIDI track here, and then we put a step sequencer in. And what I am going to do is just, let's get the melody going. We're going to need, go for the usual one, minor pentatonic scale. So when we randomize the sequencer, we're still going to be in some form of key, so it doesn't sound absolutely random. Okay, so then we need some FM because we're going to be FMing it today. Let's just do a little bit lower melody. We need to randomize the duration as well. Just going to create some sort of melodic sound here. And then we can take, sorry. Oh, another one. I promise I'll turning away. I'm not sneezing into the microphone. Okay, we're going to do some more random stuff. We are going to use this to randomize, yes, exactly that. So we're going to randomize the algorithm it's using. Maybe we can do some randomization on the filter as well. And then we can randomize how much it's sending into the reverb. Wrong channel. Should be this. Send it fully to the reverb. Say that that is our main melody, and then we want to get, here's our FM noise, and as that's spread across the keyboard, also going to the filter, and we're going to say that that doesn't change due to which key you're pressing. Turn that 0, and then we can make a short little clicky envelope. And we need something generating some nice rhythms for this. I got an idea. We're going to have a channel here which is for changing events in the track. So we do insert a MIDI track, and we call that our event changer. I'm going to get back to that one in a moment. So here, let's just make, we take the sequencer and use the Mono Sequencer for this one, which is another free one, which you can download. The other one that we just used is also free. Just randomize the, oh sorry, the wrong channel. Let's set this to mono. I'm almost going for half an hour, but we'll see if we can finish this within an hour. Set this to mono so we get randomize the octave. Get that to different length on the octave one, so we get actually a bit of randomization between the. So that's what time to go. And maybe we can have a bit of swing on that one. No, let's keep it robotic for now. And we group that one. Click on that one, so we see we've got the sequencer in there. So we duplicate that one. So we've got a second sequencer. Let's mute that one. And this one can run at 32 maybe. Okay, so that's good. And then we can do one with 8th. Or do we want to have triplets maybe? Triplet 8 notes. Okay. And then we can, let's take the solo out, and then we take these and then we pull them across like that. Actually, I want to have this one. I'm just going to swap places on those. And now in our events changer, let's do a, we're going to have a few different events. It doesn't matter which one we do. Let's do the step sequencer. And we set that to a bar. And then we do group. Boom. Let's call that bar. Do another one, which is called half. And we set that to half note. And then we can do one which is quarter. So this one will progress every bar, and then we can say that for every bar, now let's get the random in there in that layer. So every bar, that one will randomize, and then we'll go into here, and then no, where did we go? Operator here. No, FM noise. And then we map that to this. So every bar, this will randomly pick another one. Why is that not working? Can we do... I thought I was going to be really clever there, but I wasn't. It runs them regardless. If I do that, does that work? If I change the volume. You know what? Forget that I did that. My plan didn't work. I have to think about what I did wrong there, and I just don't think I can solve it quickly enough for this video to be interesting, so we're going to leave it. So I'm going to do this instead. So let's do that one for 8 notes. 16th notes. We can have a bit of random there, and then we can do the probability is quite good because then there's no certainty that the notes will fire. So we can duplicate that one, and then in our events thing, let's skip that. So we add in TFP random on off, which currently it's 50% chance that this will be on. So just map that to FM noise. The second sequencer, which is going to run at 32 notes, so that will override the previous one. Sooner or later. I think we just need to... 32 is a bit quick, so maybe we can do 8 notes, triplets instead. Should be that one. And then in our events thing, we make that less likely. Okay, sounds good. We are going all the way quite random. And we put that in we put that all in the sequencing in here. Let's put that in a rack that we can turn on off it as well. What shall we do with that one? We can do, it's not quite a kick, it's more like a percussive thing. It doesn't, yeah, we can do different pitches. Let's just do some random notes, and then we are going to use the new probability function, which you can find down here in, let's say the first one always happens, and these ones are about, I don't know, 42% chance that they are playing. So does that sound like? Let's see. Maybe that can be sent off to the delay every now and then. Change the delay a bit. And I think we need an actual kick as well. So we set as something that's just going to keep the rhythm going. So I'm going to use a kick that I have built using the operator. So it sounds like this. Quite distorted at the moment. I think we need to cut some of the low end. I suppose we can just do that with some high pass filter. Because otherwise I just always get a massive build up. So with the kick we can do something quite similar. We just do quite a lot of something like that, and the first one can always play, and then the other ones are why didn't I select you all? No. Not you. Let's turn down the drive a tiny bit on that one, and then we change the pitch envelope just to be a little bit longer. I'm going to cut some of the low end on this modulated 808 as well. Actually, this segues into something I mentioned earlier, another FM thing that I hinted at that I was going to do. So if we just listen to this kick now, I'm just going to make it really long. So in the saturator, which is the distortion plugin that comes with Ableton, if you set that to sine fold, which will then allow you to fold the frequency, so it's another type of frequency modulation, I suppose. And if you turn that up, you get really strange upper harmonics that can be quite interesting. So just another FM for you. Just turn that down a bit, I think. It's a nice kick. Then we're going to need a snare as well. So I'm going to use another snare patch I have made. I think it's using the operator again, so we're still sticking with the FM. Again, I encourage you, I've made some of the videos on how to make percussive sounds using these tools. But if you don't want to make your own and you want to support me on Patreon, you can grab these tools as well, presets, the fellow passenger, percussion, snare to snare. I think the first snare, I like that one better. Yes, it's using the operators, that's perfect. And we got the vocoder, which is great if you want to add that certainly needs some of the low end taking out of it. Perfect. And then if we add a random again, we can change the format randomly on the vocoder, so we get slightly different sounding snares all the time. We need to turn the volume down. There's something that's mixing it very loud. Oh, I see here. Fine. Okay, so we're going to do the same with this one. Let me just have a look. If I just take the same from the kick and I just put this to potentially play when I just invert this, so whenever there wasn't a kick I can just potentially have a snare. Probably quite a poor idea, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Probability in that one as well. No, we don't want to bring that one back. But we want some form of, we want something paddy going on. Actually, we can do some frequency modulation with this. So we use the wavetable synthesizer. So we need to make a long sound. Bit of envelope on it. Oh, I love sine waves, but we are gonna fold it. So the sequencer, let's do the step sequencer again. So these ones, let's do half notes. And then we are going to do a group. I'm going to do 3 copies of these, and then each of them has another random melody going. And for this one, just remember, duration doesn't randomize, and when you randomize everything else, you have to randomize that individually if you want it to be. And also, I think all of them should have a fairly low probability. Probability, yeah, that's fine. Probability. This is now going to result in sometimes you're going to get chords, but then it's important to remember to use the quantizer, because otherwise you can get unpleasant chords, and we don't want that. Not now anyway. Down a bit. And we're going to modulate that FM, of course. So we do the FM amount and the tune. And then we can do a bit of easing in and out of that. just do the amount. Maybe bandpass filter. We are 45 minutes in. Stick to the old rule. Let's see if I can finish something in an hour. Let's see if we can make a bass quickly. So we're going to take, is that our melody here? It is. So we need to do a copy of that track. So let's just solo that. We need to make that more of a bass sound. So we're going to pitch that down. The reverb on the bass, I don't think. And let's do some EQing on that. Take that stuff out to around 200. And how often do we want the bass to? Is that 8 notes maybe? Set the bass to mono as well, so we don't get So let's do, we need more glittery melodies. We do another copy of that one, which needs to go at maybe 32. Different melody. Let's rearrange that. And then another sound. Maybe you can randomly pick the waveform for this and then the envelope. That's quite fun. And then we can do, because with glitter we need a delay, let's do the echo effect. Change the delay time. Don't want it re-pitching, so turn it on. Okay, so we're going to put all this in a group, and you're going to have a what do we want to do? Do we want to let's do this. So every time is FM kick noise. And the FM noise, this is the main melody. And this one is, this is the glitter. And this definitely needs high pass on it. And the filter is, so we never want to have, okay, that's better. And then which one is this? Is this the bass? Bass. And then we have, that's the events changer. Okay, so now we know. So where's the kick? Oh, here's the kick. The events changer, I want to have that last here. That's pad. So if we have a random on off, so every time we see something, it can randomly turn on the glitter, which is in here. It's randomly turning on the sequencer rather than the group. I think for the glitter we want to have a bit more. Can we use that reverb? And then in the events changer, for every bar we have checks whether this entire channel should be on or not. So we just turn the step sequencer. We turn this whole group off. I think the echo could sit outside because I don't know if that gets cut off. So let's focus on the events changer for the last few minutes. So then we can use this to also turn the kick off. We can use this to turn the snare off. That's it. And we can use it to turn the bass off. Can stop that sequencer. And we can use it to, sit there. We can use it to change, turn the main melody off and off. Oh, this is so annoying. Sometimes this just, let's redo this. I don't know why this happens with Max for Live. Sometimes when I move things around, it sort of loses its connection. So we want to do the kick. We want to do the, let's keep the pad going because we need something at all times. Snare and actually do the pad as well. The snare. melodies, we definitely want to randomize whether that's on or off. I haven't done that much here, but the events changer also allows you to say how likely in this percentages, how likely it is that they will be either be on or off. So you can always add one more track. We got a hi-hat. What's that made from? I hope it's an FM thing. Yes, it's the operator again. So I got my hi-hat thing. Let's do hi-hat. Do one more of these tracks. Let's put that. We'll just leave that there. It's fine. Otherwise, I might mess that up again. Do the. You can turn the hi-hat off sometimes. Okay, there's not much structure to this track, but I think we should call it a day. We have just under an hour. I hope you enjoy this. I will be sharing this project file, all the things that are inside it. Some of them are third-party Max for Live plugins, but they're also all for free. So I'm going to put them like the Mono Sequencer and the Sequencer 8. Is that what it's called? The Step Sequencer. So you can grab those individually if you want to, without subscribing to my Patreon. But if you subscribe to my Patreon, you get this project file, all the sounds. I hope you enjoyed this. It's not much structure to this track, but there is at least a bit of variation, I think. So please let me know if you have any questions or if you have any requests for anything else that you think we should be doing. Thank you for today. Bye. Also, just realized, I'm going to share the track itself. I'll just make, probably just do a fade in and a fade out. Maybe not even that. Maybe I just do like a few minutes of it and just like let it play. Alright, bye.